Alright, morning. Yep, another video. Alright, so again with the word stuff. I took notes, and there's lots of places you can go with these words, and that's really what it comes down to for these people. I mean, Professor Anton, again, now then he makes a video where he says something clear, and yeah, he says he's searching for a narrative, a story, a fairy tale. We can use lots of words, right? There's lots of words for a story. A drama. It sort of relates to Conference Report. Did a video on acting, and and that's sort of what this is. I mean, life is a script. Life is a performance conducted by you as an entity in the universe. And so that's sort of the setup for Professor Anton's narrative for his fairy tale, is that, yes, we're all significant players in the universing, in the universe thinking and making videos. I am the universe making videos. And it doesn't matter whether they're shitty videos, right? Well, I don't know if he says it doesn't matter. Maybe it does matter, because I'm just a little voice in the universe, the little piece of the universe's voice, and the universe, this much louder voice, is saying things like duh, duh. Yeah, it doesn't even go past the duh part. Pretty dog, soft kitty. Anyway, so this life thing and the story. I've made videos in the past, and I called them something like Universal Janitor. And basically, my narrative, my theory of our existence is that put to our best purpose, if we made the best out of our existence, that's the role we would play. We would perceive ourselves as a cleaner. We're here to, the best purpose we could put ourselves to is cleaning up the mess created by these crude natural forces that have no conception of what they're playing with, the value of the sentient organisms they are putting at jeopardy. It is putting at jeopardy. Without any free will. That's another subject that Jericho movie guy brought up again, for no good reason. There's no free will. If I stop right now and think for another 3 minutes about what I'm going to say next, I'll say something different. My will change, merely because I gave my brain more time to calculate another connected and arbitrary in many ways answer. It's like the subtle influences that are inside your head. I mean, I could say the words Dairy Queen from my video, and it's like that we have a reaction to it. We know what the concept is, and it conjures up a whole related set of thoughts, and all that related thinking, all that nuance, all that bending and moving is all completely mechanical. There's nothing unmechanical about the process. There is no freedom to choose. There has to be an idea to choose. That has to come first. So there's obviously no freedom. It has to occur to you, to be free before you can be free, as strange as that sounds. I mean, you can't make a choice until it occurs to you that there's a choice to be made. And then there's an implication. I don't know why my arm's getting tired. Fatigue of some kind. Sorry, I have to switch over. Ugh. Annoying, but necessary, I'm afraid. And I don't hold the camera the right angle either. I used to be better at this. Now I got my notes all crumpled up. Not that they're going to be of any value. So anyway, I'm really bouncing around here. And I want to get back to the narrative, the idea of what is the story of our existence, and what is the way to make the best of it. And so then we get into another whole set of words. How do we put ourselves to the best purpose, the best use, the best function, the best economy, the best efficiency, the best productivity? So you can come up with a whole bunch of words, descriptors, and then you don't have to get caught up in some kind of quest for the spiritual, this babble, this selective, the divine prospect of unity with productivity, or some kind of crap that you're going to, some kind of poetry that can just be redefined in some simplistic, direct, accurate way, instead of relying on language that is ambiguous to most people, in the sense that most people, there's less likely to be a common definition of those words. So they are kind of illegitimate when there are plenty of words that have a common definition. I mean, when I use the word productive, that's a dangerous word, and I realize that, but it's also a very good word. But some people can't separate the word productive from some sort of sterile, you're not a productive member of society, or you didn't produce babies, or some other kind of notion of the word. And I use it in a more, I'm just going to be, I'm going to benefit myself by having the right to define my own use of the word. But yeah, I'm using it in the context of a best use kind of definition. And so instead of using the word like productive, I should say best use. Instead of saying I should say my brain. I mean, these are all artifacts of language that just are so dangerous. And maybe we have to start dissecting language a little bit, and recognizing that a lot of our terminology is loaded terminology, and that maybe that's not very productive, very efficient, very helpful in having our conversation if we're not sharing a common definition of words, and if certain words are going to create noise, static, agitation, disruption in other people's perception. And instead of exploiting that disruption, as I think some people are doing, we should do everything we can to minimize that disruption. And that might mean that we have to make longer videos, which is a horror, but maybe we need to say it more than one way. Maybe we need to use 3 or 4 qualifiers, and then maybe when I say the word suffering, and I add the word harm, and I add the word pain and anguish, maybe if I use those 4 qualifiers instead of 1, people will have less room for misunderstanding or perversion. So anyway, to their purpose. So anyway, getting back to, I think, well, here I'll go back to the consumption thing, because I was thinking about that. And another word is consolidation. So you could change consumption to consolidation. So that's sort of what it's doing. A consuming organism is is basically functioning to consolidate more matter or energy, so as to create the possibility of a copy. And consolidation and consumption are tied in so many other ways, in terms of, even in economic terms and lots of terms, those 2 words do work together. because most consumption is basically a consolidation, gleaning and extracting. Even empires like, the British Empire consolidated resources around the world, but it was also a consumption.